You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
Today, we look back at the life of Pope Francis and what's next for the Catholic Church. The Pope passed away at the age of 88 in the early morning hours on this Easter Monday. He will be buried in the Basilica of St. Mary Major in the Pauline Chapel. Just yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance visited privately with the Pope, and he posted this message after learning of his passing. "I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis," he says. "My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him. I was happy to see him yesterday, though he was obviously very ill. But I'll always remember him for the below homily he gave in the early days of COVID. It was really quite beautiful. May God rest his soul." The homily the vice president is referring to is saying that during COVID-19, we found ourselves afraid and lost. And like the disciples in the gospel, we were caught off guard. But we had to keep pushing forward together as they did in an unexpected storm. We bring in Father Frank Pavone now to discuss the death of the head of the Catholic Church. Father Frank, so good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. You know, what a shock this morning to wake up to. I had prayed for healing after the Pope's stint recently in the hospital with pneumonia. But the Vatican says the Pope suffered a stroke in the early morning hours, which led to a coma and heart problems this morning. So sad to hear. What were your initial thoughts?
Yes, it was a surprise. I was just talking with someone yesterday about how the Pope seemed to be bouncing back, and it was good to see him among the crowds. But of course, we never know when the Lord will call us back to him, whatever age we might be. And yeah, we are always saddened at the death of a Pope. You know, for Catholics, he's a father figure, a center of unity within the Church, and of course, a respected leader throughout the entire Christian world and beyond. So it's a moment for sadness, reflection, and like the Vice President said, for prayer.
Absolutely. Looking back at, Pope Francis during his term, how did he positively impact the Church?
Well, he focused very much on the mercy of God. One of the favorite things that I liked from what he said was, we sometimes get tired of asking God for forgiveness, but he never gets tired of forgiving us. And I think the emphasis on God's mercy is something very needed in our world. In the work I do, I oversee the largest ministry for healing and mercy after someone has an abortion. And in fact, I spoke to the Pope about that. That was one of the topics that I was privileged to discuss with him face to face. And he strongly, strongly encouraged more than once our work in that regard. Rachel's Vineyard, this beautiful healing retreat program. So that's a message that always has to echo forth. Also, what he said to the clergy about another one of my favorite sayings of his, how you have to have the odor of the sheep on your very clothing. Those of us that are leaders in the Church, whether lay leaders or clergy, be with the people. Listen to the people. Get to know the people. Don't be trying to lead them from some perch on high where, they feel they can't get to you and you're far away from them. The Pope tried to emphasize the very opposite of that. And these are enduring and important messages for the Church.
Father Frank, there were some eye-raising moments, however, with Pope Francis, with Catholics, when it comes to immigration and the LGBTQ community. Some Catholics had different views than the Pope when it came to subjects like immigration and LGBTQ. Where do we go from here? Because there was some sort of divide oftentimes, even with J.D. Vance, when it came to illegal immigration, they went back and forth publicly on their stance, and it was different. But we saw that they made amends yesterday. They were still able to come together as Catholics and share in that moment on Easter Sunday. So what is your message to Catholics who may have differed from the views of the Pope?
Well, it's okay to disagree with the Pope on matters that are not essential. And of course, the Pope can be wrong about certain opinions, and he can be very wrong. And this was, in fact, the case with Pope Francis. He was, in many ways, a confusing figure, and that is unfortunately kind of the opposite of the job description of the Pope. The Pope is supposed to clarify the faith. He unfortunately did confuse it for many people, and many felt, myself included, that he was too left-leaning politically. He had too much, his own background, his own history, people can and will delve into that. But for example, you mentioned on immigration, the Catechism of the Catholic Church, and when it talks about immigration, is far closer to the position that President Trump and J.D. Vance and their administration is taking than to these left-wing social justice advocates and to some of the statements Pope Francis has made. So it's, and as far as LGBTQ, you remember the thing that the Pope did not long ago with, oh yeah, priests can bless, a gay couple, and then he had to go on for 9 pages of explanation and nuance that, well, you're not technically blessing their union as a couple, but you're blessing them. When you have to go into that level of explanation, you're already losing. And this is where we've got to be a little bit more savvy. What I would say is not so much that the Pope was denying church doctrine, but that he wasn't being too savvy about how these sound bites and snapshots, like Dan Bongino would say, affect the culture wars and the general population. You see a priest standing there with his hand raised in blessing over a man holding another man's hand. That's the wrong impression. That's not Christian teaching on love, marriage, and sexuality. It's just not. And not even a pope can change that. So yes, there were problems. And I think as far as moving forward, for Catholics and for all Christians, what we have to understand is there are 6 key words, and they have nothing to do with what the Pope might have said or not said. The key words are what the church has always taught. We are followers of Jesus Christ. His teaching has been handed on for 2,000 years. What has that teaching always said? That's our guide. That's our anchor. And popes are just as responsible as the rest of us are to be faithful to that. And then moving forward, hopefully the next pope will clarify some of the confusion that has arisen under Pope Francis and heal some of the divide that has frankly wounded the church in these last 12 years.
I agree. In the last 12 years as pontiff, though, he, has made numerous trips around the world. He's visited 68 countries, giving life to a tireless mission. So he did take the word of God to 68 countries during his tenure.
Yes, that's right. And isn't it beautiful? Pope Paul VI kind of got us into the modern age of papal travel. And Pope Paul VI made a few trips, but then, of course, John Paul II took it to a whole new level, and Benedict continued that tradition, and Francis did as well. It's good. The Pope should be among the people. It's a way that it just inspires many, many people, even when they're not thinking about, particular issues or concepts of doctrine. The presence of the Pope is something electrifying. I've had the privilege to be in the presence of John Paul II, Benedict, and Pope Francis too. And just, whether you're in a big crowd or you're meeting with them one-on-one, there is something very uplifting about it. And I would hope more and more people can have those experiences.
Absolutely. In this day and age, Father Frank, we need God more than ever across the world, across the country. Pope Francis was a pope of peace. President Trump is a president of peace. I think that we as Christians can find unity there and all come together and find peace. And we need to, when it comes to just our country alone, to bring God back. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the foundation of peace is, of course, something that both the Pope and the President proclaim, that the only one in charge here is God. He's the ultimate authority over human life. And now that's what the founders based our American freedom on, because if God alone is master of human life, then we can't be. A king, a pope, a president, a Congress, a court cannot be. An institution cannot be. Only God. That's the basis of our freedom, and therefore that's the basis of peace. And the other basis of it is, and it flows directly from that, the sanctity of human life. Because human life is precious, because it belongs only to God, because only He can decide who lives and dies, peace comes from acknowledging that we look at another human being. That is not our possession. That is not our property. That is not something or someone we can own or manipulate or kill or destroy. And of course, the biggest problem we have in that regard remains the abortion problem. Unless we stop throwing babies away, we're not going to learn how to respect people across the board, across the spectrum of life. And Pope Francis was very clear about the Church's teaching on abortion. As you know, it's my full-time work in the pro-life arena. And the more we can assert and defend the sanctity of life, the closer we will be to peace.
Absolutely. And so when we come to, back to the Pope and his passing and what's next for the Catholic Church, I know a lot of people, we've seen this before, but take us through what happens now. I know a rosary will be recited this evening at St. Peter's Square, and that'll be 7:30 p.m. Rome time. So take us to the process. What happens at the Vatican when a pope passes as they start preparing to name a new pope?
Well, the closest advisors to the Pope in the Catholic Church are the cardinals. And there are a couple of hundred of these men who will now be, they're all making travel plans today to get to Rome, because over the next few days, they will be conducting various masses and services. You'll see special ceremonies, and the Pope, of course, will lie in state, and people will visit him from all around the world. And then there will be the funeral and the burial. There's an official period of mourning that takes place according to church protocol. And then the cardinals will decide to begin their secret meeting called the conclave. So this will likely happen within the next couple of weeks. And then they will take whatever time it requires for them to come to a consensus. They will take a vote on who the next pope is. Sometimes these conclaves take a day, sometimes they take several days. And there's no telling. We don't know what kind of consensus there might be already among these cardinals, but they have a very important responsibility, and I would think they're working pretty hard right now, if they haven't already over these recent years, to get to know one another. And I think it's a particular challenge this time around, because Pope Francis appointed a lot of new cardinals from a lot of new places that never had a cardinal before, and they haven't gotten together all that much. So I hope that they've been maintaining, personal communication among each other, because they're going to have a very important decision to make a couple of weeks from now when they vote for the new pope.
Right, absolutely. And we'll definitely be keeping an eye out from the Vatican. I liked what you said, to wrap this up, Father Frank, about the 6 words that we need to go by. And if you could repeat that for us and just give us, I think America needs prayer. I think America needs God. So does the world. And we need to bring him back. And this is just another reminder. I've just felt my heart sunk today, at the passing of the Pope and the head of the Catholic Church. I'm a devout Christian and Catholic. And, I just want to see God back in our world and right here in America. So if you can reiterate that for us, those 6 words, because I think it's very important.
Yes, those words are what the church has always taught. And Jesus Christ entrusted his teachings to his apostles, and he told them to go preach to the whole world. And that task has not stopped. Now, we do it differently in different denominations. In the Catholic Church, the Pope is the principal preacher of the faith, but he's not the source of the faith. And this is important to understand. Our brothers and sisters in other Christian denominations, they hear us talk about the infallibility of the Pope. That doesn't mean he's right in everything he says. Infallibility is a gift given to the whole church, not a privilege of the one man. And it's a gift by which all of us as believers, filled with the Holy Spirit, are able to affirm the very same truth that Jesus gave us and that the apostles handed on to us. That's the anchor. A pope might be better or not so good at reflecting that. People can make that judgment as history will make it. But the point is, what the church has always taught, it's a gospel that is open to everyone And we want everyone to learn it, to believe it, and to live it.
What the church has always loved it. Father Frank, so good to see you. Thanks for coming on today.
You're welcome. God bless.
Thank you. The White House Easter egg roll was held today. The president and first lady there celebrating the Easter season with 40,000 guests on the White House grounds. But it was still a somber day. The death of Pope Francis in the back of everyone's minds. Now we bring in White House correspondent Allison Steinberg live in Washington, D.C. Hi, Allison. Good to see you. What can you tell us?
Hi, Vanessa. Great to see you. Yes, it's been a busy day here at the White House. Of course, we had the loss of the Pope, big news this morning, and many mourning in regards to that. President Trump did sign an executive order today to lower all flags in the United States to half-mast to honor the Pope. Let's take a listen to that from this morning.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, and a very happy Easter to everyone. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and it's a beautiful day today. We don't have to worry about sunburn, but looks like it's not going to be raining. It's going to be really something special. 40,000, 42,000 people are expected all throughout the day, and it's an honor to have you. I just signed an executive order putting the flags of our country, all of them, all federal flags and state flags, at half-mast in honor of Pope Francis. So he was a good man, worked hard, he loved the world, and it's an honor to do that. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is some band. I've heard this band actually indirectly for 4 years and very directly now for 4.5. And I like the direct method even better. But the Marine Corps Band is very, very special. Thank you very much. What a great job. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to thank the National Park Service, the job they do in making everything so beautiful and spiffy. And I'm very difficult when it comes to that. I will tell you, very, very difficult. And I say they have done an incredible job. You just have to look around and see.
So yes, all flags here in America are at half-mast to honor the Pope. It was also just breaking news I saw just ahead of coming on with you, Vanessa, that President Trump truthed out that he and the First Lady will be attending the Pope's funeral in Rome. So they say they look forward to being there and will be in attendance for that. So that is the latest surrounding the Pope and news coming out of the White House. But like I said, it's been a busy day here. The annual egg roll has taken place right behind me on the South Lawn. It's been a very fun and festive day. Lots of young children, very cute little kids running around here on the White House lawn, all dressed up, having been able to sit down with President Trump. He's, playing with the eggs and signing books for them. It's been very cute. We've seen a lot of very cute footage coming out of this. But the highlight of the day for me was President Trump beginning the morning with very boldly proclaiming the name of Jesus. This was sort of something new. I haven't ever heard him speak about the Lord in such a way. Let's take a listen to that clip from this morning.
Speaking of special, Easter is special, and it's one of our favorite days. It's one of our favorite periods of time. We're honoring Jesus Christ, and we're going to honor Jesus Christ very powerfully throughout our lives, all throughout our lives, not just now, all throughout our lives. We're bringing religion back in America. We're bringing a lot of things back, but religion is coming back to America. That's why you see the kind of numbers that you're seeing, the spirit and the kind of numbers that you're seeing. So
I thought it was so wonderful to hear that from President Trump. In the past, I've just heard him, talk about God, but now he's talking about Jesus Christ and how important it is to have religion, or faith, as I like to call it. It's crucial, especially, in a time such as this, when evil is so apparent and, the attacks are ongoing. We have to keep the faith. So I thought that was a really wonderful statement from President Trump this morning.
Absolutely. And if you look back over the years, Allison, and even when President Obama was in office, and we couldn't even say Merry Christmas. He wanted us to say Happy Holidays. And so the stores would tell you Happy Holidays, and I would always grab my package from the register when I paid and said Merry Christmas, because I kept Christ in Christmas. And then President Trump came in his first term and brought Christ back to Christmas. He is the reason for the season. His name is in Christmas. And so to see that he stood there today and proclaimed Jesus' name in the land that we love, one nation under God. And the reason we celebrate Easter is for resurrection. And, you know, just last year, Joe Biden had transgenders running around the White House on this day. And so just a change in leadership. And it's what America wanted back. We want back to what our grandparents, you know, what they taught us and how they lived, the simple life. They gathered around the table for prayer. They went to church on Easter Sunday, but every Sunday. And that needs to come back to America. And I'm glad to see an administration is bringing God back to the country.
Absolutely. It's truly heartwarming. You know, America is a Christian nation. These are the values that we were founded on. And to know that we've strayed so far away, especially in the 4 years that Joe Biden was in the White House, it certainly makes you appreciate this coming out of President Trump and restoring the values that this nation was founded on. I think there is a true, return to Jesus. And I'm so glad to see the president being unafraid to talk about it, because there is power in the name of Jesus. So I think it was really wonderful for everyone to hear.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, President Trump, he signed autographs on the little kids who were coloring their Easter pages today. He sat with them, signed autographs on their coloring pages. Melania Trump, she read to the children an Easter story. It was good family fun, as it is. It's a tradition there. But there was some fun being poked at for Joe Biden. Let's talk about that.
Yes, there was. Well, as we know, you alluded to the disaster that was last year during Biden's Easter celebration, the transgender people running around topless on the White House lawn. We also remember the famous handler, I guess, who was dressed up as a bunny, who had to guide Joe Biden around the White House. Let's take a look at that, just to flashback so we can remember where we were just a year ago.
Female, right?
So funny but sad that was, you know, our leader, so-called leader, who couldn't even find his way around the White House lawn. This year we had President Trump, very well attuned to what was going on, obviously very capable and in good cognitive health. Let's take a look at the contrast to President Trump and his funny remarks in regards to Biden last year.
Do you remember the bunny with Joe Biden? Remember? Do you remember when the bunny took Joe Biden out? He's not taking Trump out. Anyway, that was a beautiful moment when the bunny saved Joe Biden.
I mean, you have to laugh at it.
Joe Biden. Yes, I love that. But that's President Trump. That's the president we know and love. He's going to make fun and poke fun where he can. So
that's right. So good to know that we have a good, healthy Christian leader back in office. Hopefully we never have to endure anything like we did with Joe Biden again, because that was absolutely torturous. But I think President Trump led the way very, very well today, and all the kids and attendees were very happy to be here. So it was a wonderful day, despite the sadness of losing the Pope this morning.
yes, absolutely. And again, we know it was on the back of all of their minds, but they still had a great time celebrating the Easter holiday and Easter Monday. Allison, thank you so much for that report.
Thanks for asking.
And as we go to commercial break, we show you video of one of Pope Francis's last public appearances. He repeated his slogan often. It's a slogan of peace. The Vatican says the Pope's words echoed the countless appeals he had made over the years, urging world leaders to lay down arms and turn to dialogue. Here's that video, and we'll be right back.
La Chiesa ha bisogno del vostro coraggio. Il cardinale entra nella Chiesa di Roma. Fratelli, non entra in una corte.
Costruire la pace è difficile, ma vivere senza pace è un tormento.
È giunta l'ora di costruire insieme l'Europa che ruota non intorno all'economia, ma intorno alla sacralità della persona umana.
If you want to feel and look your best, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They have 45 premium health supplements that are designed to help you with everyday health goals. Whether it's boosting your energy or trimming belly fat, supporting healthy blood sugar, pumping your testosterone up, or even reducing swelling in your legs, Pure Health Research Supplement Store has you covered. Each formula is crafted with natural, non-GMO ingredients, backed by clinical research and manufactured right here in the USA. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is offering you an exclusive 35% discount. Just go to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. With their 365-day money-back guarantee, there's nothing to lose. So head over to purehealthresearch.com now, explore their 45 amazing supplements, and save 35% before this deal ends with promo code Lindell. Let me ask you, do you ever think about what's in energy drinks? Well, it's time we did. Introducing Rev 7, a premium energy drink that's actually good for you. And it tastes great and gives you energy all day. Plus, it has no sugar or caffeine, so you won't experience those jitters and crashes that we've all been through with the other energy drinks. And what makes Rev 7 so special is that it's powered with Cognizant, a premium nootropic that helps fuel your mind, and Go BHB, which is a primary ketone in your body that provides the most efficient and cleanest fuel ever. It's a game changer when it comes to consuming less sugar and caffeine and still getting the energy we need. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20%. And I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. Today, I'm here with Mike Dillon, the inventor and founder of airwaterhealing.com, and he is going to tell us about a new product, which I'm very excited about. We talked a little bit before the show, Cardio Miracle, and I want to get right into it. What is Cardio Miracle, Mike?
So Cardio Miracle is A to Z supplement that's absolutely incredible. It tastes absolutely incredible. It's got a very beautiful berry taste, but what it is it is a nitric oxide support supplement. And anybody who doesn't understand what nitric oxide is, it is necessary for human life. And it is by far my favorite whole body supplement and heart health product that we at Airwater Healing have ever come across.
Really? Wow. Why is nitric oxide, why is that important to your health?
So nitric oxide is, number one, it's a signaling molecule, right? So inside of the body, it plays a role not only regulating blood flow, but it's awesome to help maintain cardiovascular health, and it also supports your immune system. So when you're promoting brain health and keeping in thought, keep in mind that nitric oxide is the third most essential gas in your respiratory cycle. So it is absolutely important that everybody is understanding that this is a game changer for a product for your health.
I know you were telling me before we started, you're saying, so like if I I haven't taken this, I'm telling everybody I'm I'm very excited about trying it. You and I were talking before the show here. Am I going to feel that? Am I going to feel something? I mean, I have a lot of energy, but am I going to feel more energy? Is that like, what's it going to do for me?
Okay, so I tell everybody that not only are you going to feel it immediately as far as energy being restored, but I tell people if you do any type of outdoor activity, you go play pickleball, if you're doing tennis or you're going out and golfing, you take Cardio Miracle and you are going to notice a difference immediately with your stamina. You're also going to notice it with pain management. You start to feel more like cognitive. You could literally start to feel the increase in the blood flow, and it is an absolute game changer for anybody that's athletic.
Wow. Well, I don't do a lot. Well, I'm going to start riding bikes more, but I don't do a lot of exercise. What if I don't do a lot of exercise? Am I still going to feel anything different?
Well, not only are you going to feel different as far as when you're going out, but when you're talking about lymphatic performance and insulin reception, cellular health and reproduction, but sleep. I've had so many people compliment us on the not only the increased hours that they're sleeping, but the way that they're sleeping. People are noticing a huge difference when starting to take Cardio Miracle.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, that's something. So it actually enhances or makes your sleep better. Would you say yourself a deeper sleep, more sleep, or what? How do you feel it helps your own sleep?
Oh my gosh, it's fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer. And if anybody in this country knows anything about getting a good night's sleep, I think it's you,
right,
brother.
Well, then, now, do you have a MyPillow?
I do. I absolutely do.
Okay, but you actually took this after you had the MyPillow, right? I mean,
yes,
which
of
came,
course.
Which
of
came
course.
first? Which came first?
It was the pillow and then the Cardio Miracle.
Okay, so you hear that, everybody? Even if you have a MyPillow, this makes it better. Now I really can't wait to try it. So you're taking it at night, and then you're also taking it during the day. It does basically two different things because it's helping your. Now I've got something in my notes here that even helps with aging. Is that true too?
So for cellular age, absolutely, and all of that can be verified with heart rate variability. I do recommend that Cardio Miracle for the best optimization of nitric oxide in the body. We actually recommend taking it in the morning and taking it in the evening. It works way better on an empty stomach, and typically you want to wait about 30 minutes before consuming any protein when taking this when taking this supplement to receive the most benefits. Now Mike, I drink it throughout the day. So I've got my little Cardio Miracle shaker, and I'll drink it. My first batch will last me probably halfway through the day, and then I'll make sure I get it.
So you can just and you can't take too much, really.
No, because your body will absorb what it needs, and you've got to remember that.
Yeah. So now, is this for anybody's age? I mean, can kids take it too?
Absolutely.
Really? Wow, that is awesome. And it tastes good, huh?
It tastes incredible. It tastes absolutely incredible. I tell everybody that if you can imagine, almost like a berry, a mix between a berry and like almost like a lemonade, although there's no lemon flavor to it, but it's just absolutely incredible. I can't focus on how great Cardio Miracle tastes. It's so easy to enjoy, and you take it for daily health.
Okay. Well, you got me going here. I'm going to have my assistant go make me a drink up quick. Okay, I'm gonna try it right here on air.
It's incredible. I also want to mention that nothing compares to Cardio Miracle on the market because of our amino boosting blend using arginine, citrulline, and also the orthogonine. And we have scientific validation that really separates us from the rest. I tell everybody, if you want to do a deep dive, there's actually a really good article that was written One of the Nobel prized papers that was out there. It was on a book that was called No More Heart Disease, and it's about how nitric oxide can prevent and reverse heart disease. It's the cardiovascular book. Also has a lot of validation to what we're saying in our products, but nothing more than the 2020 reference that was done by the Malinsky study, and that was showing the importance of nitric oxide and vitamin D3, which is a fat-soluble hormone. So, Cardio Miracle can actually help the body use stored vitamin D through mechanisms of the action between the synergies of the ingredients that promote optimal delivery of the bioavailable nutrients to the cell. And I think that right there, knowing that vitamin D3 synergistically supports the enhanced nitric oxide production, that's an incredible thing for everyone to know.
Wow. Well, you got that down. How long has this been around? Quite a while?
Oh my gosh, man. John Hewlett, since 2014, has been scientifically validating this formula. And I believe before he was working on this formula, he had decades in the health and wellness space, specifically focusing on heart health.
Now that John, he was the inventor of it. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so
and I can tell you,
how did you get involved? You happened to try it and go, whoa, or
So my personal story, one, my mom was told that she was never going to get off of her heart medication, and I got my mom the Cardio Miracle, and within 90 days she was able to get off of all of her heart medication. And my partner, during her pregnancy, she took the nitric oxide blend. She took the Cardio Miracle. She took it in the morning and every single night for 9 months, from the moment she found out she was pregnant to the moment that we gave birth to our daughter at home. And the midwife, who had delivered thousands of babies in over 25 years, she said that she has never seen an umbilical cord as long as the one that we had, and she had never seen a placenta as healthy as the one that was delivered, what they call the afterbirth. And she literally said to me, she goes, "What did she take there while she was pregnant?" And I was like, "She took this thing called Cardio Miracle." I was like, that's the only thing that we changed. That's all we changed in her diet was the Cardio Miracle.
Wow, the only variable. That is incredible. So you've got the let's see, I got another question I had here. And we talked about the studies. You answered that too. You guys, if you're joining us today, we have Mike Dillon here. He's the inventor and founder of airwaterhealing.com. And he's brought me this product, Cardio Miracle. I don't have the bag right now because my assistant, I had to have a drink. She's out making me one right now. But it sounds absolutely incredible. And I am going to be, here we go. This is the big test here. Come on in.
Bring him some cardio. He needs some Cardio Miracle.
Okay. All right. We're going to try it. Do I have a glass? Or you just put it in this, huh?
Yeah, mix it all.
Boy, that is good tasting.
I told you.
Yeah, no, it's really good tasting, everybody. It's really good. It tastes so good. My wife wants me to drink more water. Every day she's pushing me to drink more water. And I go, well, come on, there's water and coffee, And she doesn't buy that. So here I go. Having this in with my water, I'll be able to do both. That is really good tasting, everybody. And so I'm going to be trying it. I'm going to be using it for the next, till we do our next interview with you. But I'll get back to everyone and let them know how it's all working.
So another thing too, Mike, if you don't mind, real quick, I wanted to mention, because I know that you have a love for our military, especially our retired military, and no more than love for our active military. There's actually a ongoing study right now in the breakthroughs of nitric oxide. Right now, we are doing a research from Cardio Miracle's June 2024 research that was highlighted in the American Institute of Stress for Combat magazine, highlights the importance of arginine for PTSD symptoms, inflammatory markers, and chronic stress. So if anybody wants to research or look into that, or if you know anybody that has suffered from not only military active duty PTSD, but any PTSD, Cardio Miracle can be a game changer in that field for people who are experiencing PTSD.
Wow. Wow. Well, and everybody, you can see it there. We got a, I don't know if we have it posted there. Where can they get the, where can we get this? Is there a website? Do we have that posted up there?
We do. So absolutely. Anybody can go to airwaterhealing.com. And if they go right to our supplement section or on the main page, they'll see Cardio Miracle. What we're going to do for everybody is anybody that goes on our subscribe and save, which this is not a product that you just take for a month and then never take it again. It's life changing. So when they go on the subscribe and save, not only do they get a huge discount, but if they buy our best selling 180 or our 90 serving, which are our two best sellers. So if they get the 180 serving or the 90 serving and they go on the subscribe and save, when they use code Lindell, we're going to send them a free $150 plug-in air purifier. So they can use it in their bedroom for sleeping. They can use it in combination with their
Okay, wait. Whoa. So you get a free, say that again. What do they get? Using promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. You're going to get what's the offer again if they subscribe? Say it again.
Yep. So if they do our subscribe and save on our two best sellers, which is our 180 serving and our 90 serving, we're going to send them with their Cardio Miracle packet. We're going to send them a free $150 air purifier, never done before. Only for Lindell TV and Lindell lovers, and that's never been done before in the history of our company.
Wow, you hear that, guys? You've got to all get on board with this. Is there a 1-800 number they can call and order?
So if they want to order, they can actually text 561-480-3048. If they want to text, and we can do a phone order to get that as well. If they don't want to go on the website, just text Cardio Miracle to 561-480-3048. And somebody from the office will reach back out to them and get their order fulfilled.
Wow. So you guys got to do that. Promo code Lindell, everybody. Promo code Lindell. Mike, this is absolutely awesome. I'm just reading the packet here. Real science, real people, real results. You guys got a lot of, who does all the marketing on here? This is really good too. This, I always look at the marketing, but there's so many good things here. The whole back's taken up, everybody. But they a 60-day money-back guarantee too, everybody. That's what it says on here. Is that true? We're going to give them that, Mike, too.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever had anybody call and say that they didn't notice a huge difference.
Wow.
There's so much scientific study that's done, and if they go on the website or if they want to email, have any other questions, anybody can feel free to please email me directly, mike@airwaterhealing.com, or again, they can just send their questions over to the number that we had given earlier.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to come back on after I've tried it for a week or two. What do you think? I should come back after a week or two and we get back on and talk about, how my energies went up or my sleep's gotten better?
Yeah, take one packet in the morning and one packet at night. At least 2 hours before you go to bed. But now your wife's going to be happy because it's going to have you drinking more water.
Yeah, no, I love that. You guys, it tastes great. I know. Absolutely. So, one more time, you guys go to airwaterhealing.com, promo code Lindell. And what are they going to get, Mike? What should they get right away to get that free air purifier?
I would either do the 90 or the 180 serving and go on the subscribe and save, and then you're going to get a free $150 air purifier. It plugs right into the wall. It's great for travel. It's great for single bedrooms, for removing dust, pollen, allergens, and mold from the air. And when they go on subscribe and save, we're going to send that to them absolutely free when they use code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com.
You hear that, guys? You're getting more from this promo code than any promo code I've ever given out. Promo code Lindell, airwaterhealing.com. And, boy, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to try it, Mike. And thank you for coming on again. And we'll see you soon. You guys, this is Mike Lindell, and here with Mike Dillon. And the new product, the great product, Cardio Miracle. I'm going to be taking it, and you should too.
Airwaterhealing.com, promo code Lindell. Mike Lindell is taking his and getting lots more energy because he needed it. All right, let's talk about some of the other top stories going on around the nation today. The mainstream media, after Pete Hegseth again this morning, they have anonymous sources for this story and that story in an effort to bring him down. We see it all the time. Pete Hegseth, he fought back today, confronting the media outside the White House, right smack dab in the middle of the Easter egg roll. The media asked him a question. He fought back. Take a listen.
What do you want to say, sir, about the Signal chat controversy?
You know, what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. Pulitzers for a bunch of lies and on hoaxes, time and time and time again. And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because, you know, this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting the fake news media. This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting hoaxsters. This group, no, this group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with axes to grind, and then you put it all together as if it's some news story. And when we know it, we know exactly what it is. So I'm really proud of what we're doing for the president, fighting hard across the board, and I'm going to go roll some Easter eggs with my kids. Thank you very much. Have spoken to the president, and we are going to continue fighting on the same page all the way.
Well, there you have it. The man can't even peacefully roll Easter eggs with his kids without being bombarded by the fake news media, but he let them have it, and so did Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She put this statement out. This NPR story is total fake news based on one anonymous source who clearly has no idea what they are talking about. As the president said this morning, he stands strongly behind the Secretary of Defense. Well, she's talking about the NPR article, and the headline of that article reads this: the White House has begun the process of looking for a new Secretary of Defense. So that article is letting all of its readers think that the president is looking for a new leader for Secretary of Defense. President Trump says not true. Caroline Leavitt says not true. And Pete Hegseth says we have work to do and we're doing lots of work. It's not true. So what does that tell you? The fake news is wanting to portray the president's cabinet as incompetent and cause disruptions, because that's just what they do. Moving on to another cabinet member. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem had her purse stolen at a Washington, D.C. restaurant with $3,000 cash and her passport inside. According to the Washington Post, Noem was dining at Capitol Burger, that's near the White House, within a block away, when her bag was stolen. She said that she felt something brush up against her legs. She thought it was her grandchild. Next thing you know, her purse was not there. Secret Service is sifting through surveillance video, and they have seen the man who snatched the purse. He was a white man wearing a mask, but they have not yet identified him. Noem's DHS badge was also in her bag, so lots of personal belongings inside her bag. Again, cash, her ID, her passport, and her DHS badge. All right, gold has surged today to a record amount, about $3,400, as President Trump threatens Fed independence. Now is a good time to invest in gold. That's why we always recommend daily our friends over at Fisher Gold. Protect yourself with gold and silver. It could help you secure your wealth today. This is the website you're looking at right there. Invest with gold in Fisher Gold. MikeLindellGold.com. That's MikeLindellGold.com. Representatives are waiting to hear from you right now. They are a conservative company who share in our values, so we want to help them, and in turn, they want to help us. Fisher Gold is endorsed by Mike Lindell. Again, go to MikeLindellGold.com. For qualifying orders, you could get a free coin and $20,000 in free silver. Let them know that Mike Lindell sent you. Also, Mike Lindell and his employees want to personally thank all of you for your continued support of MyPillow. They have a big allotment of their bed sheets that were earmarked for the box stores this spring, but the box stores did it again. They didn't come through. So they're going to pass those savings on to you. There is no middleman now, so you're going to get the wholesale prices on their famous dream sheets and other dream sheets as well, bed sheets, you name it. Go to mypillow.com. The promo code there, Lindell. Big savings. You can also call 1-800-859-2879. Again, that's 1-800-859-2879. Lots of dream sheets on sale, pillows on sale. There's energy drinks right there that are new, and we are loving them. There's the slippers, his My Cross that's so famous. People love a replica of what he wears around his neck every single day. If you have a child going off to college and they're looking for bed sheets, pillowcases, anything for their bathrooms, they have all the things there on mypillow.com, and you can save big. So don't stress for getting your child's dorm room, all the necessities, and spending lots of money, because you just don't have to. You can get the best quality things on mypillow.com for their dorm rooms. Again, free shipping options are available. This allotment won't last long. When it's gone, it's gone. MyPillow.com, promo code Lindell. Also, don't forget, there's Fido right there. Don't forget about your pets, because you can also shop for them while you're there. They'll enjoy a nice doggy bed. Go to mystore.com. I love talking about My Store. I was actually talking to one of the people who have a product, one of the persons who has a product on My Store just yesterday on Easter Sunday. And they were saying that they have done very well in the last couple of weeks, because a lot of you are shopping there, and they want to thank you as well. My Store has a lot of conservative businesses who Mike Lindell has chosen to be on his website. Not everybody can go there, so these are the best of the best products. Again, use the promo code Lindell to save big on all of these products there. The freedom flags are there. You can save 30% there. Just all kinds of good things on My Store. And again, free shipping options are available. Use the promo code Lindell. And if you are a small business owner, since the big box stores canceled Mike, that's okay, small businesses. I know a lot of you have reached out because you're interested in selling MyPillow products. You can call 1-800-859-2879. Again, that's 1-800-859-2879. As we close out the show today, we want to send our condolences again to Rome, the Vatican, where Pope Francis has passed away. The president just putting out a post minutes ago that he and the First Lady will be attending Pope Francis's funeral in Rome. As you know, J.D. Vance was there just yesterday on Easter Sunday, celebrating the Easter holiday with his family inside the Vatican at a mass, and then later on going on into a private meeting, a greeting of sorts with the Pope. And it was just hours later that the Pope suffered a stroke, according to the Vatican. He then went into a coma and then had heart failure, which led to his passing. So we know that in the last couple of weeks he was in the hospital with pneumonia. We thought he was on the mend and doing well, but as Father Frank said at the beginning of the show, when God wants to call you home, he will, and it was his time. And so may he rest in peace, and we will continue to keep you posted on what happens next for the Catholic Church here on Lindell TV. And of course, we'll bring you all of the footage from the Vatican as that becomes available. That will do it for us here today on the Mike Lindell Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good evening, America.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.